Of course the people running the government are putting cancer viruses in vaccines. Of course. And we just sit here and take it. And the nerve gassing and the radiologicals and the biologicals on the ships and making the troops sit in holes and dropping atomic bombs on them a quarter mile away and seeing what it would do to them and blocking people getting health care who were in the radiation-ridden uranium mines and blocking the first responders from 9/11. This is a religion of abusing heroes, of sacrificing them, like the Aztecs. Highest form of sacrifice was a warrior. And creating cadres of scientists who get off on using troops like guinea pigs and the 4,000-plus declassified foster children radiated to death. If you're a new listener tuning in, it's like, well, it isn't polite to bring up these things. Let's just trust our government now. You see, all of you that serve the government, serve the system, you feel like you're part of the system, you feel like you're winning because you've got all this power, you're under the same attack I'm under. This is beyond madness. This is beyond lunacy. And they know that we're going to fight Gardasil. They know it's going to come out that it's killing people. And they're going to just test their hoax and tell you nobody's getting sick as people are all over the news dying. And as they, are sued and pay out. Because the mission isn't even to make money at the end of the day. It's about just getting everybody used to kids dying to your left and your right of cancer and autistic children like zombies everywhere. Their lives destroyed. And just slowly getting everybody accustomed to it. We'll be right back. CJ, Jonathan, Corey, Matthew, everybody, I'm going to get to your calls here in a moment. When you hear a caller disconnect, that's your chance to join us on air. We'd love to hear from you. 800-259-9231. I do not feel worthy tonight with an InfoWars special report in between doing other TV interviews and other work to even try to present to you the information that I'm going to cover some in the next hour. But it is a fact that every major vaccine that's been produced, when it's studied, is found to have cancer viruses added to it, added to the adjuvant, and that it's binding to the human DNA. And it's a fact that cancer is growing off the chart in a hyperbolic curve. Diabetes, neurological disorders, we are being murdered. And humans are so tough. Humans are designed to muddle through things as people are dying around us. And as long as our leaders tell us that only Dancing with the Stars and the NFL is important, I can't sit in restaurants. I listen to talk radio. If I go to a church, just all I hear is, that's right, their 4-year-old daughter's dying of the brain tumor. And you're standing there with the bellhop at a hotel, and you hear him whispering, going, yeah, my cousin's dying of cancer. He's only 22. And then most people in the office have got young friends dying of cancer. Rob Dews had multiple friends in his bands, young women, you name it, die of cancer. I mean, there's murder going on all around me. I want to go to your calls. And I look at my little innocent daughters, and I think about these people running this government who want to inject them with cancer viruses. And we know it always caused autoimmune disorders. That was the majority of, quote, adverse reactions. That's the real trait that they want. God knows what it's really designed to do. And they would boldly come out and have a governor run a military hoax, a military-style hoax, and say, it's the law. You've got to take this shot. And I came out on air, and I said, it is not the law. Here is the state and federal code. He's put it on the list of recommended health department shots. That's their policy to ask you to take. But then they lie to you and tell you it's the law. These are bad people. It'd be bad if it was the law, but this isn't even the law. They're lying to you. And it killed a bunch of people, and it caused autoimmune disorders. Here's all these medical doctors interviewed. Here's these local newscasts around the country and other countries from the trials. It's the same thing: blood, convulsions, paralyzed, death. And that murderer, Rick Perry, that Judas Iscariot, for that little bag of silver, who I now learn knows all about the New World Order and used to tell people about it in the late 90s when he was agriculture commissioner here in Austin. He knows all of this and literally decided to do it. What a test. Will you be the only governor we can get to come out and lie and say it's the law to take this? We'll make billions in Texas alone. And they bought off most of his political operatives, his campaign people. It's all come out in the news. Even Associated Press has reported on it. You know, Perry, Gardasil, Perry, Merck ties run deep. Let's put it up. It's AP headline. They won't believe it. That was from 4 years ago. And then we watched the maiming and the death. And then they said, well, yeah, we give it to millions. It'll protect them from cancer. And there'll be some adverse reactions, but it's a cost-benefit analysis. That itself is a hoax. Autoimmune impaired people who are generally old, if they don't get the pap smear and a scraping, if they do have it, sometimes can get it terminal. 4,000 a year. The rarest form of cancer in the United States of standard cancer. And those are probably inflated numbers. I've talked to medical doctors. They say it's more like 1,000. A lot of times it's, for lack of a better word, it's crack addicts, generally lowest rung drug addicts who are on the street. Crack whores is the medical doctors I've talked to is mainly who they see dying of this because they're not even eating food. Yeah, there it is. And something's going on with that computer system in there. Is it blown out for you like that, like it is? Yeah, we're going to need to get that on a different computer. We got to pull that computer out of service. It's for a couple of weeks. That's no longer serviceable with like that because you can't see anything on it. That's the Washington Post about Perry and his Merck ties running deep. Is there a way to get the headline? I'm going to try something real quick. No, what we need to try is to remove that computer. I mean, when something's broken, we got to remove it. And again, I got to be careful here, folks, because I become violently angry when I start talking about this and thinking about this. They consciously knew. And so, of course, the elite are like, well, we want you to be the next president. You're a cold-blooded killer. Can I see the actual headline on it? Perry's financial ties to Merck run deep. That's out of the Washington Post. I saw that exact headline. He must write for the Associated Press as well. And it breaks it down. Oh, that's a September 14, 2011. I guess he actually took the exact headline of the Associated Press from 2007 out of Texas. So I guess Dan Egan, I guess, just thought up the exact same headline for a new article, or he wrote the same headline years ago, or he took that name. It doesn't matter. Thank you. Just wanted to show people that article. Now, all right, I said I'd get into this next hour. I want to succinctly and in a focused way. I was ready to give a powerful, focused speech from my heart this morning at about 8 a.m. I was so ready. And just like they ran that hoax to say that Dr. Wakefield's been completely discredited when it's admitted that it was just a complete hoax that he's discredited, and it's now admitted that it's a hoax, and they've had to retract, but that was in the back of the paper, not in the front of the paper, that Ed Asner goes, well, I guess my family, 2 different family members with autism didn't get it from the MMR because Wakefield's been discredited. Just like they had one of the big Merck-connected people come out over the weekend and say, hey, I'll give you $10,000, Bachman, if you can prove that somebody ever got damaged by Gardasil. When they admit in the CDC, and Aaron covered this last night, I'm going to get more into it tonight on the Nightly News, and in the next hour I'm going to cover it. It's admitted that it's had tens of thousands of horrible adverse reactions and conservatively hundreds of deaths. And it causes autoimmune disorders, bleeding, all sorts of different autoimmune diseases, early onset of arthritis, inflammation in the joints. This is all confirmed. I mean, people take these shots and in some cases die in minutes. In fact, I'm going to play that Sky Television clip again. I just typed in, girl died after Gardasil shot. And this morning, I couldn't even watch them all. I was looking for newscasts I saw during the trials in 06 and 07. And there had to be a 50, 60, 70 of them then because I would air them here and warn people when nobody else was really talking about it but regional, local news. And I found all these new ones I'd never seen. It was just like page after page after page. CBC, British TV, U.S. television. A lot of times they don't even make it out of the room. They're dead in minutes. I mean, they die. They just go, oh, not related. It's like being run over by a truck and your guts are all over the highway and you're saying not related. Then they had other medical doctors that come out and say, no, this woman can't talk. She's paralyzed. It's a extreme form of Guillain-Barré, which is in the drug insert. I mean, H1N1, all these shots says Guillain-Barré. But when we expose them and you go to the big pharma outfit, the Walgreens or the CVS or whatever the case is, they'll have little fact sheets. Oh, here's fact sheets, honey, that's printed out by the company. And it just says, no problems, nothing ever happened. Here, take this. You want a vaccine party? We'll come to your house at a party and shoot all of you up. That's the new billboards I'm seeing. And you go to get a prescription. They're like, hey, you want a vaccine? I'm like, no, thank you. Want one for shingles? No, I'll just be healthy and I won't get the flesh-eating herpes. That's what it is, basically. And they're just like, are you sure? We'll come to your house. We'll come have a vaccine party. They use the word party. It's a psychological warfare thing, and they're reading off a manual. It's a vaccine party. Yeah, it's a party. And Bill Gates has come out and said, you don't want to be vaccinated? We're going to release mosquitoes loaded with the biological pathogen, but we don't call it a biological virus that goes in and reprograms the brain or other tissues. Because it's not even a vaccine. Think of a vaccine as, a little bit denatured of what it is you're wanting to get an immunity to. A little of something bad, which there's some real science there. The problem is you've got eugenicists that can't be trusted who are loading up all this garbage into it. That's the issue. And now they're calling it vaccines. A live cancer virus. I read the drug insert during the trials 5 years ago. And it was a live cancer virus. And I'd say that, and some doctors would say, well, no, Alex, it's the protein of the virus. And I'd say, I'm sorry, doctor, I've read the actual insert. And I've talked to other medical doctors who said, no, it's pretty much the entire virus. And now it comes out it is. And it's not just the whole virus that's been slightly manipulated to, quote, not be completely live, attached to aluminum that supercharges it and then binds it into the rest of the tissues. It's like a missile system. The adjuvant is a missile system to carry the warhead.